Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica, and today I want to talk about this special person I found online recently. Her name is Mel Robbins. I've listened to her podcast video recently to practice my English listening. I thought her podcast is the best tool for you to practice your listening because it's very easy, it's very approachable. It's just make you feel like you're connected to her. You learn all those things from her. And her podcast is all about how to improve your life, how to make yourself a better person, how to get you motivated, how to get yourself in action. And I thought, listen to her video, make me feel like I want to be a better person. I want to achieve more in my life. I want to be that sort of person that can actually take care for other people, be responsible for my own action, be competent. And today I want to introduce her to you guys because not only her podcast would definitely teach you a lesson, but her way of approaching to audience, her way of talking and speaking and truly identified with her own opinion and ideals around the world on specific issues are really interesting because her way of talking about things, it's very simple. Her words is very simple. Her sentence is very short. When you listen to her, you're not listening to some very big shots talking English with a very fast speed. You listen to her because you want to practice your listening in a very basic level. You want to build up your vocabulary. You want to talk like her. And I think I want to share 3 things about her that will definitely improve your English listening, improve your speaking at the same time. And I think first thing is that when you found some topic you really want to talk about, you feel like, well, how can I ever talk about it? How can I ever say it to other people, make other people feel like it's very important, it's somehow you need to evaluate. Sometimes all those topics are not really interesting to listen. They are very bored, they are very tedious, they are just so simple, make you feel like so childish. For example, Mel Robinson likes to talk about this 5-second rule. That means if you want to do something, you know you want to do it. You know in the bottom of your heart, you're really eager to cross the line, to make that approach. But somehow you just don't want to get out of your bed because your bed is so cozy, it's so warm, it's so comfortable. You just don't want to get out of that. And you just don't want to get into action. And you feel so embarrassed, you feel so painful that you actually procrastinate for so long time, but you don't have the motivation. What can you do? So at this moment, you need to count down like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's do it. No matter what happened, I'm gonna do it. That's the rule. You count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you do it. You cross your line. You make the first approach. You decided how and when you're gonna talk to people. It's your choice. So the 5-second rule is just to make a limited time for yourself to get into action, to active, to do the thing you want to do. Because sometimes as a human being, we have this nasty habit that no matter how much we want to do something, we still don't want to do it. We still don't want to, for example, go outside to have a walk, even though we know that exercise is so good for us. Okay, that's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing is when you listen to Mel, you just feel like her point of view is just very narrow. It's very simple, like that 5-second rule. It's very simple, it's very basic. You probably already heard it before, but the way she talk about it is like she could talk about this role over and over again, came up with loads of ideas surrounding it and talking about her childhood experience, her work experience, her breakdown, her depression moment, and her feeling towards the society. All surround the point where all this thing come together and create this 5-second rules for her. For example, me, I want to talk about some points and I want to delegate it to you. I want you to convince that I'm right and you are not really that right, so we have to negotiate. We need to talk about it. But in her way, she just like, I came up with one point. I came up with one idea. And for the next 40 minutes, not 14, 14 minutes, I'm gonna spend that time, talk about it. And I'm gonna came up with loads of stories, loads of examples to truly give you an impression that this rule, this thing, this simple existence in our planet is the true universe law. You have to convince it. You have to believe what I said. But after you watching it over and over again, after you listen to her, you feel like, whoa, the things she talking about is not really that complicated. Why she needs to use 14 minutes to talk about it and never, if it was me, I would feel so painful and so shy and so ashamed that I actually spent 40 minutes to talk about nothing. Empty. The more she talk about it, the more I feel like she's not really get value out of the point to me. But that's a good thing. Yes, maybe I sound negative, but that's a good thing. If you can spend much as time on the things you want to talk about. Sometimes we want to talk about like complicated things, academic points, but we don't know how to talk about it. We need to prepare. We need to read loads of thesis, papers. We need to make sure that every word I need to say is already written down on the paper by someone else. I need to prepare the speech. But for her, talking to the camera is like talking to an old friend. It's like having a conversation with an old friend. So whatever she wants to talk about, she needs to be passionate, slow, and clear. That's her strategy. And on the top of that, her point of view is just simple and very basic, and she spent a lot of time to explain it, to make sure that you truly understand. For someone who just decided to learn English, I mean you guys, you definitely need to try her video, her podcast. You will feel like, oh my god, English is so simple. It's so easy for me to understand. Usually I would so stumble when every time I turn on a computer to listen to a podcast, to listen to an audiobook. But on her video, I have no trouble to listen to any words, to understand anything that she said, because she doesn't need to use complicated words to describe anything she said. But it doesn't mean that she cannot use complicated words to explain so many things that she wants to say. It's just she doesn't want to. She wants you to understand what she's saying. She wants you to understand. She wants you to feel like you have that idea already in your heart. Then you want to take action on it. You want to be active. That's what she wants. She just don't want to use all those complicated words to make you feel confused or anxious, make you feel like you're so dull and so, how to say, lazy and not smart. She's trying to help you. That's why she's using the simplest words and the shortest sentences that she could actually convey to explain a story or an idea. So after this second part, I want to talk about the third part. The third part is that when you listen to her, you will feel like, wow, this is so simple. Make me feel so anxious. Make me feel so annoying. Why can't she use such a simple words, such a simple concept to describe her feeling, her experience, her past, her history? Well, that's because it's a skill to use simple words to describe whatever you want. We all know that when we decided to learn English, all those things in front of us make us feel like we need to learn the complicated words. We need to know how to spell sophisticated, for example, maybe metamorphosis, for example. All those words are so fascinating to listen, to learn, to use even. But for you to speak English is hard enough. If you use complicated words, that means you need to know how to use it. That means you need to know how to use in the right grammar points. If you don't know that, no matter how many words you know, how many of them are complicated enough to baffle other people, you're not gonna impress them, because all those things you said in terms of using that word is completely wrong. I guarantee that you will make mistakes. Well, maybe you will feel like, well, if I use simple concepts to describe things, maybe my vocabulary is not good enough. Maybe my thinking is not good enough. Let me tell you, if you can use simple words to describe things, that means you already succeed. Simple words to describe things means you're concerned for your listener. You're concerned for your audience. You make them understand. You want them to understand what you're saying. Not just like, okay, I show off how much words I know. Look at me, I'm so clever. I know how many things. I know so many stuff. I know how to read. I made a mistake almost immediately when I decided to use high challenging words, because that's not easy for me. And besides, if you use simple words, people will feel like you are so friendly, just like Mel. And in terms of using small and simple words, you may consider to use very simple grammar. Let me tell you, if you try to use simple grammar, people may think that you're so wonderful because you're concerned about them. Yes, try Mel. You'll be so amazed. That's your basic foundation for you to practice your English. And that's your basic class 101 listening class for you to practice your English. And I think if I can do it, you can do it too. Okay, that's today's talk. Hope you enjoyed.